Mass here, and this is another update for you on the tyre shredder for the Street Glide Special. So you guys should have seen the video last Saturday. You've seen it sitting in the workshop through at West Coast Harley. It's all finished, all put together, but there was one part, or two parts, shall we say, that were not complete yet. The master cylinders that I showed you on a video that were a few weeks ago, shall we say, were not installed because it was the wrong parts for the bike. No problem. It's something, just another speed bump on the road that we dealt with. So I got in touch with the company. They said, right, okay, no problem. We'll take them back and we'll see if we can source you another set. Unfortunately, we couldn't get another set, so we decided, right, well, what else can we use? Now, as things developed, we decided to just part X them for other parts. So, other parts we got, and other parts have just arrived. And I'm just going to take them straight through right now to the dealer, to West Coast, hand them over to Keith, and say, here is more parts for you. So what we've got here, as I'll quickly put the camera down to you, is these are the S&S performance headers for the exhaust. Decided this was going to be the next stage in the tyre shredder kit. So because of the master cylinder situation and the cost involved in part X and taking it over, we decided just to get these just now. Absolutely, oh, so shiny. Oh, so shiny. I'm looking forward to them. New heat shields, new pipes, new link pipes, all the kit is what you expect from S&S. I'm really looking forward to seeing the additional, what this does to the whole package. So right now we're going to load these back up into the box and take them through to West Coast, and hopefully by the weekend we will have the bike back in our possession, so then we can maybe do a little walk round and talk through on the complete product, and hopefully all going well with the bike itself, we could be able to take it out for a small test ride. Small and a controlled delivery on the public roads, shall we speak. So, hold on guys, next clip coming soon. So morning guys, as you just seen, it's been a couple of days later. In the Raptor disaster. I did say I would bring to you the trials and tribulations of bike modification on this channel, and yeah, so we're going through one of those trials and tribulations. So have a little issue with the headers. As you can tell, I'm a little bit solemn with it. Way to go and address the situation this morning, but it looks like I can't get the parts to fit correctly, so I'm not in a position to risk damaging the parts for the bike to make them fit. So I'm going to basically have to get them packed up and sent away. So it's not the end of the world. It's a cold Thursday morning, losing track of days. Thursday morning, the salt has been put on the road, so two types of disaster. When the salt comes out the road in Scotland, none of us really ride, well, I don't ride my bike that much anymore because it creates that slippy, slimy road surface. And two, the headers. I'm not going to let that ruin my day. I have my Starbucks toffee nut latte to cry into this morning, so I'm going to enjoy that. The bike will be put back together as soon as it can be. The plan is to still get the bike dropped off at the weekend after the stage 5 work done. Everything's been complete apart from the headers. It's not the end of the world, it's just that it was a nice to have as a replacement part, but I'm not going to let that ruin it. It's just one of those things. So yes, I'm in the car right now. I'm sitting in the Starbucks car park. I'm just almost at the dealership to go pick the parts up, so I can get them back down south to England before the big lockdown. And oh, that's the other thing. We're in a bit of a lockdown situation from Friday onwards, so I'm trying to get everything moving from Friday onwards. Before Friday, I should say. So get them posted today. So it's been a interesting couple of days, but still more to come, so just carry on regardless. So guys, you've probably just seen it's been a couple of days since the disaster, shall we say. Well, a disaster to me, as you can probably tell by the expression on my other half's face. A disaster to me is like the end of the world. Bike, everybody else, it's, what are you worried about that for? But hey, it's a disaster. We'll work it out, move on, next stage. So the bike is home. The bike is home. Okay, so I'm going to quickly turn around and face the camera back to the bike, as we can see. Right, so I really want to take this bike out for a test ride, but guys, the weather is hellish. The roads are wet. There's leaves all over the ground. The last 40 hours it's been from mild to freezing back to mild, and it just doesn't know what it wants to do. Now, from somebody who's ridden like a few motorcycles over the last 20 years, I've had a couple of sports bikes and other kind of crazy things going on. This is the only bike that I would maybe say that is actually intimidating me a little bit. The fact that we've doubled the horsepower on this bike at a minimum. I haven't taken it to its full capacity yet on a Roland Road Pro Tune, which is going to be the next stage in its development. And I can tell from the evil eye in the corner that I'm getting the, oh my god. Okay, but yeah, that is the next development of this bike, is going to be a Roland Road Tune. But at minimum, it's probably doubled the horsepower from its original 70 horsepower to maybe the 140. So one of the things before I go through the bike is during the week, as you can tell, I'm in there. This is our garage. All the Harley paraphernalia, as you could probably imagine. I had a couple of messages during the week about the bike, and a lot of people have never heard of a Stage 5. And believe it or not, I don't blame them. If you pick up the catalogue, it doesn't really advertise a Stage 5 to a degree, but it does, because I have the kit right here. Now, my glorious assistant has just handed over my paperwork. So I'm going to point it out a little bit, okay? As you can see there, Screamer Eagle bolt-on Stage 5 kit from Harley Davidson. This is all the gumph that comes with it. And on the next page actually goes on about how, actually, wait there, you'll see the hands. Look at that, look at that, look at those nails. You'll see how here it's actually called itself a Stage 5 race kit. Okay, so, yeah, I am a little bit nervous, shall we say, about riding this bike in the bad weather. I'm not scared of it, I'm just a little bit nervous of it, and once I get some dry weather I will take it out. But I have went to the means of making sure that the bike will handle the power as it through the drivetrain, to make sure that I've got everything prepped. So what I'm going to do right now is quickly go through the bike, overview of what was installed on the bike. I've had a few people on Facebook asking, oh, you've got some goodies on there. Well, yes, I have some goodies on here, and it's all serving a purpose because of the way that I ride and the way I want the bike to perform. So I'll quickly start with the rear Legend suspension and go from there. So I'm going to pass the camera over to my other half of Burning Gas Hauling Ass. She is on her way right now. She's going to hold the camera, so my apologies. So I'm going to take the pannier box off, guys, and what you're going to see is the Legend suspension that I've got installed in the rear. So that is the Revo A suspension that you can see fitted to the bike. Okay, so that's obviously been fitted to the rear. That is actually taller, so I've actually raised the rear end, so anybody who's maybe looking at this bike who owns a Street Glide will see that the bike rear end has came up. It's came up about an inch, just over an inch. You can actually see my S&S AK45 exhausts that were on the bike previously, but they were all put on about maybe 18 months ago, just for because I had a stage 1 originally fitted to the bike. So if we move towards the centre of the bike to the right, it's not myself that's holding the camera, this is my glamorous wife. I will kneel down and you can possibly see me in the shot. So what we've also done is, as well as the 103 to the 110 Screaming Eagle Stage 5 race kit that's been installed on the bike, I've got the S&S dual air intakes for here. I've got the socks on order. Being in Scotland, we get a lot of rain, as you can imagine, and so what the plan is, I've had to order these 2 individual socks to protect the air intakes, so we're going to go with that. I have had a couple of questions asking me what this setup is. I've done it, and I've just said, well, it's double the horsepower, double the intimidation, and double the respect. But this is only a joke, but I have literally doubled the horsepower, so why not stick on 2 air filters at the same time? So I've done that. So also down here, I put a Thrashin supply points cover. It's just a little aesthetic accessory. It's nothing to jump up and down around, but it is cool. I think it just takes away, you can actually see the Thrashin supply logo right here. So everything in here, guys, is all engine work, so my apologies doesn't look fantastic, but I promise, from what you've heard and how it will go, it will prove its worth on this thing. So moving along, I'm going to jump to the suspension. So if you look at the bike, the way the bike's sitting, I've increased the height of the rear and I've dropped the front. So I've actually levelled the bike out. Now, going by the dynamics and speaking to Legend suspension, it will handle better and turn better at the corners, which is what I want. So I'm creating a performance bagger for the road, and that is exactly what I want. It's never going to keep up with 1000cc sports bikes, but I like to be a little bit intimidating and noisy at the lights. As you can imagine, we're all men, or men and women, shall I say, who love these bikes. So coming across, you probably notice, I had the 8 panels on the bike previously. They're the Rolling Sands 19-inch that people have been asking about. They're done. I've got the Kuryakin Heavy Industries mirrors. I got them dropped down because I had the original mirrors removed and the blank plugs removed from the original batwing fairing. Yes, both done on both sides before anybody even asks. I've also got this light ring put on. It was just to try and elongate the nose. It was just to make it a bit more aesthetically more modern. I haven't put the Daymaker in it yet. I don't really need it at the moment, but I will buy one at some point when the bike does go in. But everything in this bike that's been done, I won't give her on too long. Though, feel free to ask questions, ask anything. There's nothing that I won't share with anybody when it comes to this bike. We're all in it together. But yeah, so Stage 5, guys, Screaming Eagle race kit. We've got the Legend suspension done, the S&S dual air intakes done, and yes, my S&S headers are not installed. That devastated, but I will get to that. All right, they will be. I will find a way around this. They will be fitted. My wife's laughing in the background. I really don't care, but she can laugh all she likes. So the bike is home. The bike will be ridden, and the first opportunity I get to do a video log, I will do. This is the first time you've seen me in the Rock. This is what we call our garage. That's another story why we call it the Rock. If my wife quickly flings the camera to the right, you'll see wide variety sitting there. But that's another day if you just quickly flick away from that, because we're not taking the attention away from my big baby. So the big baby is almost complete. Just got a few aesthetic things to do. Now, somebody did say to me, not to go on too much about it, I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon, is that I would need a parachute for this thing. I think it's because what they're concerned about is the acceleration, the torque, that's going to come from this bike. I'm going to slide my ass right off this bad boy. So I'm going to change the seat to a Saddleman, I think, because it's got the high ridge at the back to try and wedge my fat ass in here. We'll see. It's coming for Christmas. We'll maybe go into that afterwards. So apart from that, as you can see, the Softail's right beside me. Yeah, we're a Harley enthusiast family, but what else do you expect when you come into Harley Davidson enthusiast family? Harley Davidson's, you know, this guy, Yamaha, are you? So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching the video, and as always, keep it